Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Becky Rainey here, and I'm excited to talk to you today about how to leverage your business and home based business. Sometimes it's very difficult when you're home to keep the distractions at bay and to stay focused and on task. And I've been working at home now for a year and a half. And oh my gosh, it is a challenge. And I sit here 16 hours a day wondering why I don't get, further along or why I'm not having more progress. And so I've been studying different techniques and tasks and habits to put together to help my self become successful, as well as help my downline and my team to be successful. And so I thought I would share with you some of those. First off, personal development must always be in your schedule, must always be in your plan. And if you're working at home full time, or even if it's just you have a full time job and you're trying to squeeze in a home based business in between your full time job, I can tell you that there's some great ideas in blocking your days out in 15 minutes. Anybody can do something in 15 minutes. So if you were to say, I can make these two phone calls in 15 minutes, or I'm going to do my strategy plan in 15 minutes. You can even teach a class in 15 minutes. So going through and trying to figure out how to schedule your day is so important, and keep it consistent. So for me, every morning I try to get up at 5 in the morning and block my time out. I like to do my prayer for 10 minutes. I like to do my meditation for 10 minutes. I do reading for 10 minutes. I do writing down and journaling for 10 minutes. And for some reason, that just opens up a lot of energy and pathways for me to have a really powerful day. And if I can get those things done before I even start my day, before I turn my phone on, then I know I've won. I know that I've actually started getting those things accomplished. And so think about what are the things you can do in 15 minutes. So if you can take a sheet of paper and write down all the things you can get done, and it just takes you 15 minutes, whether that be wash one window, clean the bathroom, or maybe read a couple of pages in a book, or what is it that you can do in a 15-minute block, and write down all those things. And then when you have a minute, you can go back to, when you're running around doing your things in a day, you can go back actually and then look at, oh, I can do this right now, or I can do this right now. And they become tasks for you to actually tackle. Sundays is a really good day to actually go through and plan for your next week. So if you take Sunday evening, just before you go to bed, take 15 minutes and actually plan your next week out. And how many classes are you going to do? Who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to mentor? And all those different things. It's really great to do that. Then now we're moving from step one. That's one thing is 15-minute blocks. Number two is actually doing things in a weekly block, right? So if you're planning your strategy Sunday night, and then you're going to now start working on a weekly schedule, you want to figure out which day you're going to do your Facebook Lives, which day you're going to do your ads, which day you're going to actually do your class. All those things that kind of, you're not going to do every day. And then actually schedule those out and be specific. The more specific you are, this will take a habit to really start building those specificness, specificity. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but doing it in a specific way, it will take a habit. You'll find that, oh, I wasn't specific enough in this task, and then I didn't get it done. Okay, so then the more specific you are, then it's easier for you to do that. Also, again, like we were talking earlier, to put them out in blocks of 15 minutes as you're planning your whole week. So it's really good to do that. Okay, step number three, we can talk about your leadership language. Like, what is your leadership language? Everything should be communicated in a vision, right? So always knowing that you have a vision in front of you and that there's something to search and to reach for, right? That keeps you motivated on your daily and weekly tasks. So if you know that your vision for this month is to actually reach this rank or to enroll this many people, then you can actually keep that vision and keep that enthusiasm forward motion, as well as you're using that vision to communicate to your downline. It's always really good to collect stories. So as a leadership language, you want to be collecting stories. I've mentioned this before, that the more stories you collect, like the more things you hear from people, the more communication you're in, like this oil helped me with that, or I learned this lesson from this person. And then as you keep these stories, journal them. And then that way you can keep them focused and quickly referenced. So it's really good to do that. And then always give an assignment. So, when you go to work, when you actually have a job and you go to work, your boss is telling you to do this, this, and this, and this, and you got this list of things to do. So when you're working at home and you in your home-based business, you have to give yourself lots of assignments, but do them in windows of 15 minutes, okay? And when you're actually doing your business, then you want to give your downline assignments. That way they have a focus and a task to do that will help them move forward step by step at a time. Then the fourth thing on the leadership languages is that you want to actually give challenges. So people love to have competitions and to challenge themselves, to push them outside of their comfort zone so that way they can grow and actually make a difference for themselves. We tend to, I think it's natural for human beings to be lazy. I think we're always wanting to figure out how to make something easier or how to get there without the work. And that really is the habit we want to break, because the more you work on that muscle to push yourself forward, it's like lifting weights. How do you get to the next weight? Is you need to put new weights on, right? Add more weights to it when you're lifting weights. And so it's really important to go through and add more weights. What is the challenge going to be to push you forward? And I love that analogy, right? We've been watching the Olympics, and how do people actually, you know, gosh, their bodies are so lean and so fit and not an ounce of fat on them. That took a lot of discipline day in and day out, every 15-minute little blocks to honor their body, do the workouts that it's going to take for them to get to the Olympics. And then just for that 15-second run, right? Like maybe they're doing 100 meters or whatever it is. And it's just incredible to watch and to see them get gold. You can feel their excitement and their passion. So keeping your vision, so you get that excitement. Their vision was to be to the Olympics and win gold. And their stories that they have around them to help keep them inspired and keep them moving forward. And then they had assignments every day to get them there. And then the challenge is there. So that is something that's really, really good to have. Okay, so then we talked about a daily thing, breaking things down in 15-minute blocks, weekly things, breaking things down in the week so that way you can schedule your week for success. And then number 3 is learning your leadership language so that you can actually keep that stuff focused. And then now we're going to go to the month. So on a monthly basis, you want to meet with your leaders like the first part of the month. And if you want to have your leader meet with you like on Mondays, every Monday, to strategize, help them stay focused on what their goals are, keep them inspired, tell stories, the whole thing, right? And then every month, you always want to plan, do, review. Plan, do, review. So you're planning your month, you're doing your month, then you review your month. Then you could see what you could do different, how you can actually make that focus happen. And it's great, right? To be accountable, to have an accountability partner. And when you're actually doing this kind of stuff, you're planning from event to event to event. So the more events you put together, if they could be Facebook Live events, they could be one-on-one meetings, they could be phone calls, any kinds of communication, we can call that an event, that you're actually going to engage people in the conversation about what you're up to and the inspiration that you have about it. So we're talking about event to event. Now, on quarterly, you may have like a company or corporate event. So with our company, excuse me, we have leadership events, we have online events that go on. And so getting those people to those events to help them be inspired with the bigger picture, not just with your picture and their picture, but to keep that bigger picture in front of them is so impactful. The more events you have and the more people you can get to those events, the more your team will grow because that vision is there and it's large and it's inspirational. So be constantly working on an event and the next event and getting people there. So right now for Doterra, we're very excited about our global convention. It's going to be happening in Utah. It's going to be an in-person event as well as online. So you get to be in the convention for people in India, guess what? You guys get to be online on the convention and learn about all the new products that doTERRA is leashing, learn about all the new things that are happening. And so that's amazing. And if you are not a part of that, please let me know. I'll show you how you can get those links and get registered to attend that. The secret is in keeping people engaged in blocks of 90 minutes. So if you can actually look further than at the 90-minute window and say, we just enrolled this person, let's get them going with the products, let's get them using the products, let's show them how to invite people, how maybe they can bring people into the natural solutions environment, all those different things. And that's kind of about a 90 day window. And then after the 90 days, you start all over again. It's like a whole new engagement with them, a whole new, and you just keep repeating that over and over again. So have a strategy on what is going to happen in the next 18 months. So this is step 5, the next 18 months. Why more, like why not a year? Well, because you want to always be, it seems like if you look a year out, it seems like you need to actually be 6 more months out, because then the months rotate, right? And so it's harder to keep just a year in vision. And if you plan in an 18-month block, oh my gosh, it's incredible. If you actually went back and looked at 18 months ago from today, we just were starting the pandemic. And how much time has gone by so quickly? So you want to keep the vision in play. You want to be in communication all the time on what your goals are and what your events are and what's happening. You want to always have that communication there, right? So what are your structures you can use to put that communication in play? One structure could be like email blast, Facebook or social media. What texting? Maybe you prefer to do texting, but have that consistent kind of communication so people know where to find your communication and count on that. One of my mistakes have been is that I used to love to email my newsletters and stuff like that. And then, after my newsletter went out, 5 minutes later, somebody would say, well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, what's on my newsletter? Well, I didn't get it. We are so inundated with so much communication, so many emails, so many things happening. So maybe consider being omnipresent. So like right now, I am doing a Facebook Live and a YouTube Live, as well as I'm going to save this recording and post it on my other pages that I can. So it's real important to try to be omnipresent so people can find you throughout your communication, right? And also another side tip is to have a playbook. This playbook is so important. You ready for this? Learn how to build in a rhythm. So I just discussed with you all these 5 tips, daily, weekly, monthly, event to event, on a quarter basis, on a yearly basis, and then in an 18-month strategy plan. That's learning to keep a rhythm. Day in and day out, your rhythm. Get into those habits so that you can be successful. Learn how to inspire others. And then lastly, learn how to train. So train, train, train. If you're not training others, you're not learning. And you teach to learn and you learn to teach, right? So that is the whole tip on being able to be successful. And so I'm here for you guys, all in on oils. And if you have any questions, I would love you to like and post something and make a comment below so that way we can have an engagement conversation about maybe some tips that you would like to add to my conversation. I would love to hear it. Maybe some things that I talked about that aren't working for you, and we can discuss maybe what that could be, how we can change that. And so thank you so much, everybody. I'm here to help you. God bless you. And have a beautiful day, okay? That's what it's